Hello. So you know that every Doctor Who channel does top 10s, top whatever the fucks about Doctor Who episodes. Yeah, my opinions on Doctor Who and its episodes varies a lot and can change on a fucking dime. So I'm gonna be more vain about it. I'm very proud of my Doctor Who Road sketches. I love them. I've loved them since I started them in 2015. About 4 years ago now. Where's all that time gone? But I thought it'd be quite fun to go down memory lane a little. Bit and see where my rankings are for all my sketches. You know, it'd be quite fun. A few rules though. There are rules. Ooh, you better believe there are rules. My dog's under the camera, by the way. So if you're wondering if you hear any like licking or snoring, that's Fred. That's my dog. In fact, let me take a picture of him right now so you can see what I'm looking at. He's a cutie, you know. But yeah, few rules. 1, mini sketches don't count. I love all my 2019 mini sketches, but no, doesn't count. Also, I love them all. Okay, I don't love them all equally, but so that also means it discounts Tennant Meets the Doctor, Eccleston's Friendly Prop Shop, and the other ones. Oh, How to Keep Fit with the Doctor, that's the one I was forgetting. So without further ado, and I don't think there's anything else I have to mention, here we go! Starting at number like 30, I think. At number 30 is this dreadful sketch. I hate this one. Christmas Eccleston. So, it's a good name though, Christmas Eccleston, because it's Christopher Eccleston. Do you get it? Do you get it? The first few minutes is quite fun, you know, it's got this bell end in it, murdering Santa Claus on the spot, but you know, it's half an hour long. It doesn't need to be half an hour long, it could be 15 stupid minutes long. Dreadful sketch. Next, quite frankly, Vanity and the Scarf. Again, a pretty good name, considering it features Tom Baker and Tennant, as you can see. You get it, because one's a vanity and the other wears a scarf. It's an interesting premise, I think. Tennant wants to open a Doctor Who museum of sorts with different cool bits and bobs from Doctor Who past, but he goes a bit crazy because of the influence of Son of Mine. Tennant wants to steal shit. It's an absolute waste of Son of Mine later on in the sketch, and honestly, apart from the portal sequence with McCoy, it's just kind of a boring and waste of, how long is the sketch? How long is it? About 22 minutes. I don't know, it's a good one, a skim. Oh, the trailer's dope though. Trailer's great. Moving on. The Doctor Who Road trilogy. The second of, what, 3 trilogies that I've actually completed now. I remember it fondly. You know, it's got a place in the old heart, but honestly, it's pretty boring. That's the sin of this one. Oh, it's Eccleston. There he is. Canonically, this is the first sketch, isn't it? I think. Yeah. Canonically, this is the first sketch, you know, in the universe, but it's pretty rubbish, isn't it? Really? There's not much to it. I don't think I've written anything more in my notes. Oh yeah, the voices, as it's early days, they're not great, especially when it comes to the classic Doctors in Part 3. The costumes, obviously early days, again with the classics, terrible. Most of them don't have wigs. I only really recently fixed that issue, to be fair, 4 years later. And again, early days, my acting, poor. It's just poor. You know, fondly remember, Jesus. Look at that spot on the nose. I hate that I had that spot. It's so prominent. Answer to Rory's Many Deaths. Quite literally only exists because of, you know, Rory kept dying, so I made a sketch about it. Answer to Rory's Many Deaths. Yeah, it's fun to revisit, but it's, you know, there's not much to it, really. Aside from Rory dying about 3 times and that. it's not very, you know, it's fine. It's fine. There's just not much to it, you know? Sherlock's Revenge. God, this one's got some pretty damn good cinematography going for it. You know, it's got the return of Sherlock, a character that people liked in his first sketch. But it's not very funny. Not a very funny sketch. In fact, I would say it's taken... Okay, apart from maybe my dancing arse. That's pretty great. I took this one too seriously. That's my issue with this one. The script isn't funny. It's just not. Even that wiggle bum that you just saw wasn't scripted. I just did that for fun, I think. So, yeah, I took it too seriously and the sketch suffered. Ain't it a darn shame? Oh, look at me run. Look at me go. Oh, he's a runny boy. See, look at this cinematography. There's some pretty good shots in this. Let's let it run a bit. Look at him go. Look at him run. Oh, sexy boy. Oh, he's gonna punch that door. You ready? Boom! Okay, I'm getting distracted by my own sketches. You can really tell, even back then, in the distant year of, what, 2016 I think the sketch was, that I loved me some Eccleston. I did. Eccleston's easily my favourite sketch character, even now. And he got another sketch. He got one of many, many sketches to himself, I think. Eccleston's Revenge. Right after Doctors Assemble, all the powers were still in play, so I was like, should really put them in one place. Eccleston's shed. Eccleston is gonna steal all of them. In a rewatch, I actually kind of enjoyed this one a fair amount. You know, there's a lot to it. It's got a lot of stupidness to it. It's dumb. It's a dumb sketch. It's got a couple of leftover effects also from Doctors Assemble towards the end. Thank you, Harry. Mwah. Love your editing and special effects wizardry from back in the day. And aside from that and the weird, like, Mr. Grinch scene towards the beginning, not much to it. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just realised I put 3 revenge sketches all in one bit. That's quite funny, isn't it? Capaldi's Revenge. One of my favourite openings. It's so wonderfully and unnecessarily dramatic, isn't it? Look at that walk. Look at that. Look how long the Capaldi coat was once upon a time. Now it's the correct length, but it was down to my knees. Cool. Question: why has this one got so many bloody views? It doesn't even have it doesn't even have an ending. It was supposed to be the first in another trilogy, because this was around the time, obviously because of the plot, that Clara was killed off in, what was the name of the episode? Face the Raven. It was the Face the Raven, and this was the Face the Raven. And then it ends with, what's his face? Sim regenerating. Here, I'm gonna actually, this first time I'm gonna skip to this part. Here we go. Look at him run. Look at him go. This ending, if it'll show me. Basically, Sim uses regeneration energies to blast people. And that was then going to go into another part based around Heaven Sent, then the final part surrounded by Hellbent, so it's going to be a trilogy. This one just ends on a cliffhanger. I never had an idea about it. Also, Capaldi doesn't have a wig at this point. Weird, isn't it? Here we go. Thank you, Harry, for the effect. Boosh! Doosh! Yeah, no, I didn't have an idea, so I just ignored it. Yeah, not great. Look at that title card. That was sick. I forgot that was in there. That was cool. Anyway, Eccleston's Shed Mystery, parts 1 and 2. A classic in a lot of ways. You know, it's a good one. It's a good one. Fun premise, fun original premise. Built around the simple fact that my shed / back garden got demolished, as you will see in a minute. So Eccleston's home of the shed is gone! It's gone! It's... I have fond memories of it. Again, I call it a classic for a reason, but doesn't excuse it from being a bit of a, you know, forgettable sketch, to be honest. It's alright. Has a weird Unicorn and the Wasp parody about, you know, about halfway in it. Yeah, no, it's fine. Sherlock's Murder Mystery. Oh, I love the opening to this one. So dark. Probably one of my favourite openers, actually. But other than just the opening and being the better of the 2 Sherlock sketches, I'm quite proud of the mystery and the solution to it. I think it's quite a clever solution you might not think of straight away. Most of it's pretty entertaining, but the ending's a bit naff, really. You know, the solution's fun, but the ending's just a bit naff, really. Look, Russell T Davies. You may wonder why he's not in sketches. It's because he bloody died. He gets shot in this one. He's the victim. Bizarre. Well, if you want to watch that play out, click the link. No, I'm kidding. I don't know how links work, but another good one. It's weird watching me in the corner of the screen myself getting shot. Here's one you might not expect so low on the list. Physician's Fears. Fairly recent one. It was only last year, but this one, look at that shot. But it should have been better. Much like Sherlock's Revenge, it had potential, but in my opinion, it didn't really reach it. You know, it's got a great opening scene. I love this opening scene. You don't get opening scenes like this too much. I know I keep talking about opening scenes though, so it kind of goes against my point. Anyway, oh, fantastic villain though. Scarecrow, when he finally appears, he's fantastic. He's terrifying. I love him. He's got the mask. He's got that dope jacket. One of a kind villains. If I could talk. Jesus. Not a lot of comedy either. Again, I took it a bit too seriously at times, I think. Shut up. I tried too hard to make them, you know, the nightmares more nightmarish as opposed to funny, and I fixed that with the Dreamlord sketch. We'll get there. Yeah, Physician's Fears. Should have been better. Oh, but it is the part 2 of a trilogy. I'll talk more about the trilogy when I get to what is the first part of it later on in the list. Not much to say about this one. I love the split screens. There's a few split screens in this one. There's some that come later, but best thing going for this sketch. Although the premise is fun, you know, a semi-Fear Her spoof, because Moffat can, you know, write. Fuck me, what was that? I forgot he was in that. But yeah, Moffat's the, you know, you could draw a picture of someone and they get trapped in the paper. You know, always, you know, so that's quite fun. It's pretty funny too. There's a lot going for it, but there's not just not a lot to talk about. It's just a fun one to watch, really. Let's watch now. It's funny, isn't it? Here's a premise I want to revisit one day: the casting of the Doctor. Whole premise is Tennant's leaving and they need to find a replacement. You know, obviously Smith wins, but shut up. I mostly remember this one for the fantastic Harry cameo. His first cameo, if I'm not mistaken, actually. Yes, Harry's first appearance in one of these sketches, and it's the funniest part of the sketch all these years later. Like, it's a funny sketch. That's supposed to be Peter Capaldi, by the way, in the blue jacket. But yeah, no, it's a funny sketch, but Harry steals the show. Otherwise, it's, you know, it's a fun sketch. Simple, short, funny. And very different. I like the ones that feel very different. Clearly lost Moffat's jacket too. What's that jacket? That's my school jacket. That's what that is. Come on, Harry, where are you? There you are. Go for it. Sorry. Oh, Terrence Day. R.I.P. Terrence Dicks. I feel like I need to preface that. Yeah, God, in hindsight, making Terrence Dicks this mentally challenged, I feel very bad about that. If I ever use him again, which I probably will, I'll definitely tone that down. R.I.P. Terrence, I'm sorry. Aside from that, this is far from a popular sketch. I like this one. It's a short, sweet Father's Day parody with Terrence Dicks for some reason. I like it. There's not much to it. It's simple, and I like it. Got a bloody problem with that? Do you? You'd think this one would teach me that sometimes a shorter sketch can be better than a long one. Considering all my 2019 sketches have been half an hour long, yeah, I clearly haven't really learnt my lesson, have I? Here we go. This is a rare one. Look at that! Not written by me! One of 2 sketches, if I'm not mistaken, that's not written by me. This one's written by Harry, who's usually doing some editing wizardry, like in Doctors Assemble with all the power effects. This one has this great comedic energy. I love it. Also, the first instance of the Capaldi wig. It's a weird sketch, which is quite reflective of Harry's comedy. Also, the character with the glasses and with the jumper who works at the BBC. Brilliant side character, as well as a character later on who works at the BBC who's like this. Oh, me and Harry still quite laugh about this one from time to time. Definitely, Harry's comedy really bleeds through this script, and that's what I like the most about it. Beautiful Harry. Doctor Who vs. Chibnall trilogy. I couldn't help it. When Chibnall was revealed as the new head writer, I had to do something. I don't really like this trilogy. Like, the first part, which is this part here, is fine. The second part is just kind of and then the final part's pretty funny. I like the final part the most. This one suffered from needing, or at least in my mind, needing every Doctor to appear, if that makes sense. Like, it's one of those sketches where each Doctor appears, mostly in the second part, but the first part is set up, so it's usually quite fun because it's just character banter. The second part is like in the meat of it, which feels like they're taking turns, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, so this is Hartnell's scene, Troughton's scene, Pertwee's scene, blah, blah, blah. And I try and worm my way out of that, but it happens. It happens a lot. That's why the third part's my favourite, because it's just Capaldi and Hartnell up against a very early days Whittaker. An okay trilogy. It's liked by a fair few, and I understand why. It's fine. Inside the Game. God, this was a weird one, wasn't it? I mean, but first of all, it has a very strange cast. Eccleston and Smith, the usual, but you also have Star-Lord, and for some reason, Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, in their only appearance in any of Doctor Who Road sketches. And I love this sketch! I had the most fun filming a sketch with this sketch, because it's wonderfully stupid. It's got some fun, you know, game tie-ins, as the title would suggest, including Minecraft and the Batman Arkham series. And it's the only reason it's this high on the list is because it's so weird. It's such a random sketch. It's not part of any long-running narrative like my new ones are. It's just got a handful of random characters, some of which I don't even use, thrown into a scenario which is kind of outside Doctor Who Road, which doesn't usually happen. Well, there's Eccleston. He always has to be there, doesn't he? Good old Eccleston. I love him though. We all love him. Love you, Eccleston. World's had enough of Chris. It's up there as one of the best titles of a sketch. I love the pun ones. Obviously it's a parody of World Enough and Time. A stupid title for an episode, but it made for a great parody title. I love this opening, by the way. You can barely see it, but that's the point. He's gonna turn the light on in a second, scare himself. Ready? Ah! Anyway, pretty good sketch on the whole. I love all the Eccleston, Cyberman and John Sim bits. Everything else is, you know, fine, boring, bland, but this stuff, brilliant. I love this stuff. The Cyberman stuff, pretty good. I was never gonna do the Doctor Falls as a follow-up, but who cares? You don't need that. This is fab. I love this one. Oh, and it's also worth mentioning that this was kind of the start of where the 2019 sketches come into things, because obviously at the end of this, he gets his sort of Cyberman lightning powers, which sets up the whole Force thing. Oh, it's banter. It's banter. I love it. The most popular sketch on my channel, nearly at 1,000 views, Regen Bonanza. I'll be honest, this one would have been higher if it wasn't for one thing. Part 2 is trash. Don't watch part 2. If you're gonna watch this, just watch part 1 and assume everything's wrapped up. Oh, it's a paedophile. Part 1 is great. I understand what... Anyway, back to it. Here's a weird fade, but that does lead me on to the amazing effects. You're about to see a pretty cool one here coming up by the beautiful Harry Dunkley. God, he's a wizard of effects, this kid. This kid from Brooklyn. Nah, Harry's great. Honestly, it's a classic, and the effects hold up. Look at that. Look how cool that is. And other than that, it's a pretty funny sketch, great concept, done pretty well in the first part. Don't watch the second part. They get ready, boom! Look how cool that was! Alright, moving on. Let me ask you a question. Can the Doctor lift Thor's hammer? The premise of this sketch is simple. Came from a friend of mine after I bought it from Comic-Con, this lovely, lovely hammer. This one, other than Doctor Who vs. Chibnall, it benefits from having all the Doctors there. All of them having a turn is the whole joke, like that scene from Age of Ultron. It's very good. I love this sketch. It's hilarious fun. A long intro, very long intro. Yeah, not much else to say. It's high up, it's a classic, and it's pretty funny. It holds up. Also, it's a prequel of sorts to Doctors Assemble, which we'll get to, don't you worry your pretty little socks. I'm not wearing socks, I'm barefooted like a little hobbit. Babyface Jack. Oh god, the nostalgia. Look at that spot. Look at that spot. It's not as bad as Doctor Who Road trilogy, but ooh. You are not mistaken with that terrible shot. And the only time they ever wear normal clothes, it's Doctor Who vs. Moffat trilogy, where it all began at number 11. My goodness. Yeah, it's up here for nostalgia. What you got a problem with nostalgia? To be fair, it's a simple premise, and it's done pretty well, I think. It's actually pretty good. It holds up. It's dumb. It's pretty poorly acted, and the editing's not great because it was on Movie Maker, but I have no issue with it. You got a problem with me? Put it here. It's my list. You bitch. Oh, and of course it sets up Moffat as the ultimate Thanos villain, but we'll get to Moffat being the villain of a sketch later on. Oh, bloody tell ya. Here's another one that's not very popular. Costume Wizard. I love this one. Completely original idea, an original character of the Costume Wizard himself. I love this one. I do. I genuinely do. It holds a soft spot in my heart. It also stars two of the Oh, that portal effect is great. I forgot about the portal effect. Yes, it also stars Davison and McGann, two doctors I hadn't used that much up until this point. Although it's mostly because I got their, updated costumes at this point. Hence why, costume was basically it came from an excuse to change their costumes so pretty rapidly, especially for McGann's sake. So I created this whole scenario about it. Aren't I a clever boy? I love the costume wizard. He's hilarious.
The voice I use is pretty bloody fantastic.
And now I'm looking to update all the costumes again, specifically McGann's, because I want a green coat this time, god damn it. Ah yes, the only other one to be written by someone who's not Jack. This one's written by the lovely Zach Roberts. Yeah. Much like Moffat's Leaving that was written by Harry, this one just has this great energy because it's written with a different comedic perspective. This one's got some fantastic banter between the doctors, ones that I wouldn't have thought of. It's just, again, it's a small cast of doctors, only 4 of them, grouped together in one location, just having some banter, and it's really, it's funny. It's got this great, the writing in it is fab. Sometimes I will admit I tweak scripts, like I tweaked Harry's scripts a little bit. This one I didn't tweak at all. I love this one. It just feels so different. That's what I like about this one. It's got this different energy to all the other sketches, and I love it for it. Also Zach as Mickey Mouse, I believe Rick Sanchez himself, and Kermit the Frog. Watch this one. I won't say it a lot, but watch this one, it's great. Oh buddy boy, you better believe we're talking about Doctors Assemble. Admittedly, the one critique I'll give of this one is that it should have been just one whole one. Like part 2 is so retardedly short that it should have just been one long one, but due to time constraints and me just being desperate to get it out on time, I split it into 2. But that's okay. This one has some fab effects too. Harry outdid himself on this one. I loved his work in Regen Bonanza, but this one's got some cracking ones. However, this one coming up is 100% Jack original. It's a split screen and it's got lightning. Ooh, buddy boy. A classic for a reason, these 2 sketches. This sketch was ballsy. Even when I wrote it, I knew it was ballsy. Look at this. You ready? Look how cool that is. And there's me! And it's even in a wing face! And look! I'm Tony Stark! How great is that? And it moves and it... Oh, Harry, amazing job. Oh, buddy boy, you know it. We're into the 2019 sketches at number 7 with Companion Conundrum! I have been wanting to do companion stuff for so damn long, so I figured the best thing I should do is just to bloody cram as many as I can into one sketch. Just to really get some stuff, yeah. And this is Susan Foreman. Okay, I'll talk about why I like this one so much. But yeah, a lot of new characters. Doctor Who fans will know these characters obviously, but a lot of new characters in one sketch, and I feel like everyone has the right amount of screen time, apart from maybe Jamie McCrimmon, I guess. If you're a Second Doctor fan, you ready for some ass? Look at that ass. A lot of fun character moments. This is just a fun and breezy sketch for half an hour. I don't know. I like this one a lot. All my 2019 sketches were going to be in the top 10 anyway. So we'll talk more about the phase 3, as I call it, as a whole, the more we go along. Here's a fun one. Left for Who. Pretty popular one too, this one. Quite right. Because this one, as I was making it, didn't look like it was going to be very good. I wasn't excited about this one. Usually as I go, I will grow love for the sketch because I start off very unsure, but as I film it, it becomes clear that it'll be good. But until I released it and saw the, fan reaction, yes! Damn it, Jenna! I love you though. It's got some fun zombie bits. However, the ending, I cheated, I'll be honest. The whole, it lagged out, that was not in the script. I had scripted out the whole thing until they got to the next safe house, as it does in the game. I had the tank, I had the witch, but I didn't have time to film it because I wanted it to be released at Halloween, which it was, but I didn't have time. I didn't have time to finish it, so I copped out with the lag excuse. And I do actually want to revisit this idea at some point. Make a Left for Who 2. I think that'd be quite fun. Do the whole thing as planned, but not anytime soon. Not the how creepy that is. I like that. All the zombie stuff is fun. However, the hunter, as I covered the whole bottom of my face in red, that wouldn't come off. So I had to go to work, and I worked at Toys R Us at the time. I know, RIP, Toys R Us, you're shit. with just red all over, and they were like, "What? Are you okay?" And I was like, "It was a shaving accident." The Mad Hatter, the first part in the Batman villain trilogy. I had the Mad Hatter at first, then it was Physician's Fears, and this year I'm going to be capping it off with Joker's Revenge, the sketch that I am currently working on. For updates, go follow me on Twitter or Instagram. Oh, that felt disgusting to say. I really like this one. It was a fun one to make, it was a fun one to script, it was just a fun idea really. Wah! Also, it was another great pun title. The Mad Hatter, the Matt Hatter. It all just comes together, you know? It's a stupid premise, you know, hats brainwashing people. It's a wonderfully stupid idea, but it's the kind of idea that Doctor Who Road sketches thrive on, I think. And you know, Matt Smith was known for his fucking stupid hats, so sod ya. I'll make my own sketch about it. That scene took me 3 goes. This scene took me 3 goes, because the first go there was too much noise, the second go I kept flubbing, so I gave up, and again, I'm not going to say it too much. I don't want to say it too much, but please watch this one if you haven't. I adore Midnight on Gallifrey. This is the first sketch I filmed with my DSLR camera, which I am currently still very much using. I put more effort into the script this time around. I put more effort, you know, I mixed up the characters a little bit. I used a small cast of the Doctors, yeah. And I had a funny old idea at the time, a semi-parody of Midnight, with them all trapped in one room, but put them on Gallifrey. Do you get the title now? Brilliant fun. Also Rassilon. I love being Rassilon because I just shouted a lot. Shall I get up the shouting? Let's see if I can get up the shouting. Middle of the Night. A better pun title for the better of the Midnight parodies. It's also a sort of parody of the Phantom Menace, which is kind of a theme for my 2019 sketches, as this is the first of the big 2019 sketches, if you don't count the mini sketches. If you're wondering why or how it's a Phantom Menace parody, I'll give you a hint. John Sim is the Qui-Gon Jinn. Figure the rest out for yourself. Sets up a lot of plot lines to going forward, as I said. And it's just a really fun one. You know, it's got a lot of great character moments between the 4 Doctors that, again, don't usually mesh. Like in Trapped, it's 4 Doctors just chatting for most of it. For the Midnight bit, anyway, like Tennant, Colin Baker, Hartnell and McCoy, their interactions make that sketch, as well as all the bits and pieces, you know, the ongoing plot with Whittaker and Eccleston and all that. Brilliant fun. Great sketch, great start to the year for the sketches. And also, Tennant does a bunch of running. Heck yeah, boy. Attack of the Dream Lord. The Dream Lord is probably my favourite, or one of my favourite villains I've ever done. He's got such a presence. I mean, he's one of the few villains to be in basically the entire thing. And this whole intro is setting him up. Look, Ace is backed up to a corner, all the companions from the previous sketch, all on the floor, like the opening of Infinity War, and there he is, the Dream Lord, coming to send you to Dreamland. Ah! Continuing all the Phase 3 plot lines that I'd set up, including the Whittaker and Eccleston stuff, of course, just in smaller ways than in Middle of the Night. This is what easily the best 2019 sketch so far. I adore this one. I know it's the most recent, so obviously I'm gonna have fond memories of it either way. But like, it's just so good. Great cinematography, great acting on that part. And a great episode 3 of the 6-part Phase 3 with Joker's Revenge, which I'm working on, and Revenge of the Chib, which I can say now as Chibnall was in this sketch been outed as the Palpatine of the story. Moffat was the Thanos, Chibnall is the Palpatine. How exciting. Unlike Physician's Fears, learned my lesson, and with the dream sequences, most of them were quite funny, and the rest were character building, which is the better way to do it, really, isn't it? Now, let's go to what no one is going to be surprised at, with my number 1 choice. My camera's running out of battery! Number 1! Obviously it's Moffat's Revenge! The biggest sketch at 1 hour long, well just over 1 hour long, and it's... Oh, it took me 4 months to make, not including scripting. God damn it. It's just so good. I love this sketch. It's funny. It's got all the Doctors playing their roles. The Thanos of the sketches, Stephen Moffat. at his highest heights. He's never risen higher, but then he falls. He's a good man that's gone to war. No, he's a bad man in these sketches. The only thing I will say bad about it is Stephen and Sean's cameo. They should have been somewhere else in the sketch. They really ruined the ending. Although it is funny, that it really ruins the emotionalness. But oh my god, that ending though, where all the doctors teleport in. Oh my god, it's so good. Where is it? Where are you? Look at, oh, it's just in the music where it plays. Please watch this one if you haven't. Of all the sketches, watch this one, because Moffat's Revenge is the best sketch that I have ever made and will probably ever make. So for the ending, I thought I'd ask the obvious question, what's your favourite sketches and why? And to start the conversation, I asked a few of my friends to give their answers, because we're all nerds and we all have our favourites, don't we? Right, firstly, Gemma, my lovely girlfriend Gemma. She has picked Attack of the Dream Lord, the newest one. Fantastic choice. Because of the amazing split screens that are in it, they're pretty good. And the Dream Lord in general, good stuff. Next, my friend Harry, you've heard his name plenty of times in this list. He has picked Regen Bonanza for the fun concept, and he's rewatched it the most, probably because of his own work, because he's a narcissist, says me. Zach, his favourite is the Doctor Who vs Chibnall trilogy, because he's a sucker for cliffhangers. However, I've written suck for cliffhangers. And Stephen, aka Blue Box Engine, has picked Moffat's Revenge. Again, the narcissism train keeps on chugging, because one of the things he says was that it had him in it, which was the cameo, and it's also felt pretty conclusive, and bada bing bada boom, he saw all the effort that was put in. Funny story, before I ended, Moffat's Revenge was, once upon a time, going to be the final of the Doctor Who Road sketches. So that's a factoid for you. That's it. Do put your favourites in the comments below if you've made it this far. Well played. New sketch soon, hopefully. Bye.